So we got something unusual today to show you. Why is it unusual? Well, because it's an expensive phone and it's a brand and it's well known. This is the Sony Xperia XZ Premium. So why did I get this? Before I go into the specs, I will tell you why I got it. Oh, it's standing on its own. Okay, so this was first shown at Mobile World Congress in 2000, at the 2017 Mobile World Congress, and I saw pictures of it. And as soon as I saw this kind of shiny chrome effect, I just thought, wow, looks really cool. And then of course when it was said that it will have a 4K HDR screen, then I thought cool. And then when I found out it's going to have this ultra slow motion thing that you can do slow-mo at, I think it's 960, I thought even cooler. So I waited and I debated and I waited to see when it would come, and eventually a couple of weeks ago I said, yeah, let me get it. I'm still using my Lumia at 950, which I still really like, but it's Windows 10. But of course, you know, I saw this and I just couldn't, you know, I couldn't help myself. So what is it? Okay, well, this is the Sony flagship of the moment. It is a 5.46 4K HDR screen. It have inside, we got a Qualcomm 835 Snapdragon, the latest, 4GB of RAM, and it comes with the 64GB of internal storage. This is dual SIM or SIM and memory card. I have my own SIM and a memory card in it. I'm going to try not to turn it around this way because you'll see me. So camera wise, it have 19 megapixel main camera and 13 megapixel front facing camera with dual LED flash, and of course the 960p slow-mo. But the slow-mo, look, I'm not going to show you because I didn't take any, I haven't used it yet, but there's plenty of examples online of how cool the slow-mo is. But it does take a bit of time to you know, get used to, and because it's such a short burst of slow-mo, you really need to be able to time it really well and choose your subject really well, which you know, my kid is still on vacation, so when she comes back, most probably it'll be when we'll be playing around with it. It have USB-C, which is cool, NFC, which is good as well. We all like that. Now what it doesn't have is wireless charging, which is a bit of a shame, but there you go. That's the only thing. It would be a perfect phone probably. Now I'm sure anybody who's looking at this review no doubt will have seen plenty of more professional reviews than what I'm doing at the moment, and a lot of people have kind of complained about the kind of outdated style and the rather large bezels. For me, I don't have a problem with it. Have stereo speakers, and I'm sure people again who have seen or have looked at other reviews, people have complained about the volume of the speakers not being that loud, and yeah, I would agree. You know, it's a shame. They could be louder, but perhaps there will be some kind of update with regards to that. Now it's running Android 7.1.1, and today I just did another upgrade. So since I got it, there's been 2 updates through the Sony Xperia update updater, so seems to be getting pretty decent updates from what I can see. Now, back and front, this chrome finish have Corning Gorilla Glass 5. This is the latest, and prior to me just setting up to going to do this review, I left it because it was updating. I left it and I left the room, and when I came back in, this phone was on the floor. So my heart stopped because I thought, oh bloody hell, it's dropped, it's going to be broken, and it was lying face down. And not a mark on it. So I've also seen a review online with an American guy who he dropped his out in the onto the concrete, and it survived. So let's hope I don't drop it again. And it seems to be it survived its first drop, thank God, because it'd be a nightmare to get fixed, to be honest with you. So I just hope. And you know, I hate having covers, and I also hate to have a screen protector. So bit of a nightmare all round. It survived. So what else can one tell you about this? Okay, well, it also, for us musos, myself, it has a pretty decent digital audio converter, so you can play your high-res files, and over my RHA's wired headphones sounds absolutely brilliant, really good. And of course you can fiddle about with the soundscape. On my Jaybird Bluetooth headphones, I'm not convinced, but this have this new Bluetooth that is, I think it's called LDAC. So if you buy Bluetooth compatible, and they're very expensive, I checked, Sony do them, this LDAC Bluetooth, it's meant to be high res over the over Bluetooth, and the sound's meant to be really good. So if I could find something that was a bit cheaper than a few $100s, I would buy them. But at the moment I'm happy with using the RHA, and as I say, the sound is really good. Okay, so I'll get into this. Okay, so let's just do it. I did Antutu benchmark, and when I first did it, when I first got it, now if you can see here, look at that score. Wow, 173,208, really high. Now when I first got it, and I did Antutu, it was 157 something, and this seems to be the scores that most people have been getting, or what I could see online. See that? It's really quite nice thing, but very slippery. So yeah, back to Antutu. So if you've watched a lot of which I have, a lot of the other reviews, and most of them are really good. A lot of people have been going on about the 4K HDR screen. Now the thing about it is, most of them were not talking about the fact that it doesn't really show 4K all the time. Most of the time it is in 1080p, and even 1080p, I mean, it's pretty very decent screen showing 1080p, but it is only using 4K for certain apps, videos, the gallery, photos, and you can look at 4K if you have a decent internet connection, which I don't. You can look at 4K video from YouTube, and I downloaded a couple of videos at the time just to watch it. I'm not going to show you it here because it's kind of pointless. You won't really get the, you know, an idea of how good the screen is. So it's not on in 4K all the time, but recently there have been a few forums who have been listing a hack that can be done so that you can enable the 4K all the time. There. So yeah, getting back to this 4K hack. So really, it's relatively simple. You have to download ADB and Fastboot driver thing that you can get on XDA Developers Forum. It's easy to find if you're not scared to try it. And then open command prompt on your computer and type in a couple of commands. There's a number of videos showing you how to do it. It is very simple, and that would change to having 4K as your default, but there seemed to have been a problem that when you changed it to full 4K and I think it was 820 pixel density, the phone, the dialer app keeps crashing. So some other genius online told us that if we make the resolution 1890 by 3360 and the DPI 720, it's not quite the full 4K, but it's as near as you're going to get it, and it means that it's above the 1080. And check online, there's plenty of videos I'm not going to show you, but I did it, and you know, I did it, and it took me like 5 minutes to do. So I don't know if you can see here. Let me try and get it in the focus. Is it focused? Oh, I can't see it. Oh, there it is there. Okay, so that's the resolution, 1890 times 3360 and 720 DPI. Then you just have to change some of the within the settings about the icon size and the font size, and then you have the 4K all the time. And from what I have read, I haven't had any issues yet, and from what I have read, it doesn't really have much of a bearing on the battery, and the battery is pretty decent, although people were complaining it's not a big battery, but the battery is pretty decent, and I find it lasts me you know, all day before I go to my bed to plug it in and charge, and so I'm happy with the battery, and I have it on the 3G and the Wi-Fi, so I'm happy with the battery. The camera, certainly the stills camera that I've used, and I did do a bit of testing for the video, the camera is really good, very clear, and again, it's pointless kind of showing you these photos on my video. You don't really get the impression, but I think that the camera is absolutely excellent. I thought the video was really good. You can shoot in 4K, which I haven't done. It takes up too much memory, you know, too much memory, but yep, it's very, very decent. Front facing camera, I'm not going to say it's brilliant, but yeah, I mean, it's fine, no problems at all with it, to my mind anyway. Now of course I will just mention again that I think it comes in a kind of black or a blue kind of finish. It is very slippery, so you know, just really be aware of that if you're fancying it. Very, very slippery, but really this is the fastest Android phone that I've ever used, and it's certainly one of the fastest phones. It's up there with the Samsung S8, Galaxy S8 and the iPhone for speed. I mean, it is just really, really zippy, and since changing the 4K thing I haven't noticed anything as of yet, and if I notice it to have any problems, then it's easy enough to just connect it to the computer, do the ADB shell and change it back to 1080p. I'm happy to do that because, you know, it looks good 1080, it looks good what it is at the moment. It is just super sharp, and you know, I don't think anybody would be unhappy with regards to how this thing looks. So with the Qualcomm A835, of course it's top of the range, so I'm not really a gamer, but it plays really well. I don't think you're going to notice any lag at all with anything at the moment. This really is kind of like it's kind of at the zenith at the moment of smartphones. Now people will probably, you know, love or hate the Sony bar design. I don't mind it. I think it looks a wee bit like some of the shape of the Nokia Lumia, and you know, I've always liked that. I've said it many times. I don't mind it. I had the or I bought my wife when the Sony Z came out, and that was the first one, which was the waterproof one's 1080p, and I really liked that shape. And for me, I think it's cool. I don't mind the bezels, top and bottom. The side is totally fine. I don't think there's a problem with it. So, yep, good for me. This also, this is IP68, so it kind of can be dropped in water, although I'm not going to try it. But make sure that the cover here over the SD and SIM slot is completely covered. Now the only thing I didn't talk about was the fingerprint scanner, so I'm going to just show you here. This is on the side here, and of all the fingerprint scanners I've used on various phones, I found this to be the most easiest to use, and I find it been very accurate, very quick. I didn't see any problems with it. Some people complained it was a bit slow. For me, I got it on two fingers, my thumb and my finger on my left hand, and I didn't come onto the camera there. I didn't see that any kind of slowness at all. So fingerprint scanner really good. I know in America for some reason the fingerprint scanner's been disabled, but I was told or I read that if you can flash the European ROM, you will get that fingerprint function back again. So yeah, that is it. I mean, really, this is the... I'm happy to have this phone. It is very good, great for watching content. I watched the football last night, beginning the Community Shield in the English Premier League, and for me the Scottish Premier League has started, so it's nice to watch the football. It just looks really cool. There's not much 4K content available, but it's there, and I suppose you can download pretty big files and watch movies on it. I mean, it's probably overkill. The 4K is overkill, definitely, but hey, we're guys, we want 4K, we want HDR, we want that high pixel per inch. It just looks excellent. So I mean, I could really recommend this one. Now, I got this one here, and it's in KSA, and this was just under 2,500 reals. So that's kind of about the price. You might see some discounts about if you look, but that's kind of the price. Call quality, excellent. I always forget about the call quality. The battery is 3,000, just over 3,000 mAh, I think, and some people were complaining, but as my experience with it is been pretty decent. So yeah, that's about it. If you're into Sony, it's definitely for you. If you like kind of like bling and looking cool, it's for you. You want a really fast phone and don't want to have a Samsung, it's definitely for you. And that's my review. There's other reviewers on YouTube doing really cool reviews of this phone, a lot better than mine's, but you know, I just want to give you another person's perspective on this. This is a very cool phone, very slippery, be careful, and even though people were complaining a bit heavy, I like it. I think the weight is just really quite nice. It gives it that feeling of you know, premium feeling really. And of course you can do this, it can stand on its edge. I'm not sure which any good that is, but yeah, it can do it. Questions, comments, I will do my best to answer them as soon as I get any questions or comments. So that's the Sony XZ Premium. Bye.